The Being Counted a Boss podcast is powered by Expert. Expert is the AI data and workflow management kit for bookkeepers and accountants, keeping your data clean and boosting productivity. Automate manual bookkeeping checks and streamline your entire workflow. Expert is your trusted sidekick, tirelessly checking the data for errors and helping you manage workflow easily. Process, visibility, and data quality control in one AI-driven system. If you're interested in trying Expert for free, visit our website at www.expert.io, where you can start a 2-week free trial. Hello, welcome to this guest episode of the Being Counted a Boss podcast. We're joined, so me, James, and Amy's back again. Wasn't here last week.
Back in the house.
We're joined by Kev Lord from Firmcheck. Hey, Kev, how are you, mate?
I'm very well. Thank you for having me. Absolute pleasure.
It's good to have you on. It's good to have you on. We were actually with each other yesterday in person, in real life as well. I feel like I'm going to be seeing you quite a lot on the road over the next few weeks. We're at a few
FOMO going on here.
We've got some FOMO going on. You want to come along here too?
Yeah.
Come with us.
Part of the gang, you know.
I've been in my audit cupboard like for the whole of September. I've had massive FOMO for everything that's been going on. What's going on this month?
So we had alternative events, and then we've got the road shows. So they've got one in Edinburgh and one in Manchester as well.
Oh yeah.
The Edinburgh one is actually quite good. It's quite nicely timed around it's near the Christmas market. So I was thinking about maybe making a weekend of it.
It's actually a stunning location as well. So it's one of the new hotels and right in the city centre, but it's got a 360-degree viewing platform.
Oh, cool.
Like you say, but at Christmas times, you can see all the Christmas ads.
I'm just going
very
to
good now. Very good venue.
I'm looking forward to that one. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. Cool. So we've got Kev on. Kev, do you want to give anyone that's been living under a rock and doesn't know who you are an introduction to you?
With introductions like that, how unbelievable. So yes, I'm Kevin Lord, General Manager at Firmcheck. Been at Firmcheck since we launched, almost 2 years to the date. So we're in our third year. If you don't know who Firmcheck are, we are AML software, especially for UK accountants. So we but we do give you the tools and the features that you need to be fully compliant to your supervisory body. So I think traditionally AML was seen as, take a copy of a passport and put it in a file somewhere and forget about it. And then when the auditors come in, they say, well, where's your risk assessments? Where's this? Where's that? And that's the bit that sends everyone in a panic. So we kind of highlight that, visualize that, make it as streamlined as possible. Before that, most people will probably know me from a long stint at FreeAgent. Was head of the accountancy practice channel there for a number of years. I think I was employee number 20 when I joined there. And by the time I left, 300 and odd. So I really enjoyed my time at FreeAgent. I spent a little 18 months at Chaser in the middle of that as well, as head of sales, head of global sales there. So been in the industry for a number of years, and I'm that traditional sort of moaning Scottish guy that moans about the industry. So yes, that's me.
We're just going to spend the next 20 minutes just moaning.
Moaning.
Just moaning constantly. That's all James does normally anyway. So.
The weather.
I don't moan. What are you on about?
Glad I got someone I can moan with now. I'm really happy about that.
Yeah. So the episode, obviously, before this one was going out, was talking about sort of setting up and building the foundations of your firm. So I think AML is pretty important when it comes to the foundations of building a practice, right? Getting that structure in place initially and making sure that you don't have to adjust it too much. So how do you see firms rolling out Firmcheck, or where do you see the sort of biggest gaps in that space, like the AML space at the moment?
I think if we take it straight to the foundations, when you say you're setting up a practice, in order to get a practice, you need to go and get a practice license from a supervisory body. And to get a practice license, you're basically signing up to say that you're adhering to their AML regulations, amongst other things. And I think the way the analogy I usually use about AML is that like nobody wants to do this. Like accountants don't want to do this. It's an absolute time drain.
What are you talking about? I love it.
But I usually compare it to like a Michelin-star chef. You've trained all your life. You're good at your job. You've got a great skill set. You deliver a brilliant end product. Your restaurant's full. You've got a brilliant wine list, staff, restaurant's full. But health and safety come in and say your fire extinguisher's in the wrong corner of your restaurant, and they close you down under health and safety, and you're just known as a dirty chef. And I think that's what AML is for accountants. It's like the fire extinguisher that costs money, and why do we keep that maintained? That it's never going to burn down. However, if you're audited in your files, or they find that bad, like that 0.1% of one of your clients that's misbehaving, doesn't matter. You're known as a dodgy accountant. And if anything, reputation in the accountant, you can make a mistake on a tax return, you can make a mistake on a payroll, you might not like your client, but don't be known as a bad accountant. So it's that reputational damage, I think, that AML is, and ultimately it's a protection of your business and your practice. So when you're first starting up, it is important, and everyone does AML. Every accountant does AML almost every single action of their day. They're thinking about, does this make sense? Where's that money coming from? Who's my clients? That kind of thing. But actually what the auditors are looking for, what the supervisory bodies are, is that standardized? Is that documented? Are you educated on the risks to your business? Because it's your business and no one's going to protect that. And, we were talking about it yesterday at alternative events. If it's not written down and it's not standardized, then how can you monitor it, and how can you sort of find any gaps or that kind of thing? So it is vitally important, because at the end of the day, it's your business and no one's going to protect it. So you need to protect your business.
I think as well, a lot of people that are setting up on their own might come from a bigger firm as well. Obviously, Amy, you did, and James, your story is a little bit different, but those bigger firms don't really have the same sort of mentality, I don't think. Like you said, they don't have a process. They might have a system that they use to do AML, but every single partner might do it slightly differently, or they might not run it as effectively. And not taking that habit into your own practice must be quite important, right?
Yeah, and again, if we look at the chats from yesterday, and I've already said that, AML is not fee earning. And it actually takes you away from fee earning tasks. It should be fee earning, and Amy's obviously got a point in there. Do you charge, Amy?
I charge.
Yeah, exactly. And why shouldn't you? It's a regular. You are required to do it, and as I'm sure we'll talk about, the rules are getting tighter, and actually, you can really probably only stick by the rules if you use software. So there is a cost. Very few people charge, and they should. Back to your point, though, Will, bigger practices, the senior partners or the people doing that, they're chasing fees. And, we spoke at length yesterday about how they don't run the business. Oh, that's the admin team's job, or that's the onboarding team's job. And then suddenly when you're starting a firm by yourself, you're struggling to balance that act of being an accountant, but being the business owner and being the business runner and person that runs the business. And, you don't have the team or the fat of employees, if that's not too crude a term, to pick up the non-fee earning stuff. So yes, it's vital, and these things sort of catch up with you. It's the harsh sort of admin realities of running a business.
Mm.
Completely. I was in a firm that the admin had to do that. The onboarding was done by the admin, and the admin had to go and get it. Or they'd go to the directors and, don't worry about them. I've known them for 10 years. I'll sign a piece of paper that does it. And it's all manual. And I think actually there might still be manual now. And then when I started, I never really got involved in the procedures or anything that you had to, we had to have everything documented. So a couple of years ago, I had to sit, I'm ACCA, had to look through the ACCA guidance, and I was like, I can't do this on my own. But I never knew there was software out there to start with. So I was using an Excel sheet, getting everyone to, I don't know if this is right, but I say it, but people were WhatsApping me their ID and friends and things, because I started with a lot of friends and friends of friends. So I did know them. Now I'm growing. I'm getting to the point where I'm actually not physically meeting people. And this software allows us to do the selfies, and get on the video call quickly, show me ID, send me it afterwards. And it just makes it a bit easier. It does feel like a massive burden when you're starting out to get the process in place and then collect, as a sole practitioner, collect everything. And this has gone out of date. You can't even keep track of when driving licenses and passports go out of date. There's no way you can do it if you're doing it on your own and just storing them, obviously securely, storing them yourself. So to me, a new practice owner, it's essential to have this software and get it in place. And like you say, it costs. So I didn't charge initially. And then actually, previous guest, Jerry Williams, kind of pushed all of us in our infancies to charge for everything, everything, single thing. So I've started charging, and probably not enough, but I'm charging £1 a month per director or shareholder. Obviously the ACSP and all that stuff that's coming very imminently is a different ball game. But everyone that I take on, director, shareholder, sole trader, if I have to check their ID, they're getting £1 a month on their monthly fees.
Do you detail that as part of your proposal, or is it built into like your onboarding costs? Or
people are used to it now, used to having to provide their ID for everything, scan their face for everything. It's not, I'd say probably 2 years ago, I faced a bit more resistance. When I first brought it in, I was like, why am I paying you to do this? I said, we've always had to do this. It's just never been made aware to you why we are doing what we're doing. But we have to prove who you are. You have to prove who you are. So people just accept it as part of a monthly fee now. So if you could start as you mean to go on, and then gradually with the whole company's house verifications, again, we need to be charging for that as well. In my opinion, I know not everyone's going to do it because they'll think I've got the ID, I can do the checks and all the other bits that we have to do, and I'll just absorb it. But for me, I was like, cool, you want to go and get your personal tax code yourself? Fine, you do it yourself and then give me the code. But if you want me to do it, I'm going to have to charge for it. So we have to pay a fee to register. And then we still have to, collect the information, because the stuff that we've got is probably not good enough anyway. Collect the information, store it, pay for the software to maintain it. So yeah, we have to pass that cost on.
There's a little additional safety thing to justify that cost, if you like. So I'll agree with you. What you've got so far, if you're telling me that they're WhatsApping you, it's not good enough.
Yeah, no, stop that. I'm talking early days. I don't do it through myself now. I do it through software.
But if I'm your client, for example, Amy, and you verify me, and then 6 months later I decide to become James' client, James doesn't have to re-verify me at Company's House. It's you that's taking on that burden and responsibility. So you should be charging me, because that personal ID code follows me around for the rest of my life, and you have done that on my behalf. So you should be charging me. That's a nice service that you've done with no guarantee that I will stay with you. But it's up to you to still keep my data, because it was you that verified me, and I've went to James. Thanks very much. So
Amazing.
yeah, you totally should be charging for this Company's House stuff.
Yeah.
I think as well, like you said about it being a burden from the start, but actually it becomes more of a burden if you don't do it from the start. I speak to so many small practitioners that are like, when we're only just starting out, I don't need that at the moment. I'm doing everything sort of manually because I've only got a few clients. But actually, it's probably much easier to get the process in place as soon as you start your practice. Yes, it might cost a bit of money. There might be some fun, whatever it might be, but actually it's so much easier to do it then rather than changing it 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months down the line, when you can't bill for changing your own internal processes. That's definitely not billable, whether you're charging for AML or not, right? But changing your processes internally is
So
not
could
billable.
this be a barrier of entry for anyone looking to start a practice? Is AML a pain point, or is it literally going to be that because of the way tech is now, it's going to be nice and easy for them to build that process? I'd be interested to see what people's thoughts on that will be.
It's almost like you were in the room yesterday with me and these bigger accountants, and
Maybe I was.
And they were talking about the lack of younger people coming into the partner table and stuff like that. And Will got very angry at one stage in the room. It was,
Really?
I seen his wee red face for the first time in a long time. Will got very angry.
Frustration was the word, I think, more than anger.
But I think, like I say, we are very dedicated to UK accountants and that whole compliance thing. Now, there has been software out there in the past that sell to accountants, they sell to solicitors, they sell to property managers, governments. And what I would say is a lot of these guys are ID tools. They verify ID, but they don't do the risk assessments, they don't do the firm-wide stuff. But their commercial model was very transactional and would ask you for quite a large fee up front and tie into 2-3 year contracts. And I think what you're finding now is the accountant specific one, and I think there's only us and maybe one or two others in the marketplace. We have no minimum cost at all. We have no minimum client numbers. I genuinely have a guy who does his mum's books. He has to ID his mum, has to do AML for his mum. He's got one client. He gives me 50 pence, and that barrier of entry is just reducing more and more the more this specialized software comes in. And again, we were kind of talking about it yesterday, you can start a practice now. You don't need a 25 grand Iris contract. You don't need to go and get a marketing manager, because there's your marketing manager right there. Sorry, I've held up my phone. The barriers of entry are getting lower and lower and lower. So there's almost no excuse not to have the right foundations in at the start. Yes, it might cost money, but it doesn't cost your, oh God, I need to buy AML software at £2,000. I don't even have a single client yet. No, not at all. Get out there and find out what's there, because there's a lot of software out there that just has a real low barrier of entry. So, and ultimately they've got to do it, James. Like if you want to run a practice, you've got to do it. So it's not going away. Sadly.
So then I suppose the other way of looking at it is, then if you've got to try, it's kind of like making people think about it. It's not just a tick boxing exercise. It's more to view it as strategically as a way of doing things. I think that's got to be the message going forward if you're going to be doing your practices or looking to start your practice. I mean, wouldn't anyone agree with that or disagree?
Well, it's compliance, right? You guys are accountants. That's what you do. It's compliance mostly, right? And you have to comply with legislation and rules, and that's essentially what AML is, right?
Yeah. It is a tick box exercise, but is it something that if you could change it to sort of say, look, you can actually use it strategically to help you put you ahead of other practices when you're going to start, because you have it in, like you say, we have the things in place straight away that could really stand you above everyone else around you.
It's not just about making it easy for you guys, right? Because you need to make it easy for the client as well, like to upload their ID, to send all the information they need.
100%.
But would we all know what it's like that onboarding any new client on any business. That time to wow and that time to value has to be as short as possible. So if you're onboarding a new client and go, do you know what, you're about to get a text message, it's going to ask you to take photographs of your ID, take a selfie, and and I've got protections here, I need to protect me and I need to protect you. They go, Christ, Amy and James know what they're doing here. Like, these guys are quite slick. The last guy I had to take my ID to him and didn't ask me any questions. These guys clearly care about what I'm doing, and it makes you want to seem professional and that you adhere to certain standards, that you're not a dodgy accountant, and that all comes to, like, there's a reason accountancy is the number 2 trusted industry in the world behind medicine. People want to be able to trust you with their finances. Actually, more people are probably more concerned about their finances than their health. So they want to know that you adhere to a certain standard. I think if you fast forward that to more than a tick box thing, like I'll go back to my original point. You're doing every time you do a trial balance, every time you do a bank rec, you're doing AML.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's living in your head and you are growing or you are adding staff, or what if something happens to you or whatever? How does that person know what's living in your head? Or when they order, and that's the harsh thing of it. And I think that's the bit that really annoys people. Is like, I know this. I know my client. I was like, very good. But did that happen? And it's all about protecting you. Very weirdly, the type of client that will commit anti-money laundering or fraud have usually been with that firm for over 10 years. They know you're not going to ask questions. They know your processes. They're the ones that are going to sort of trick you. And sometimes, and usually it is friends and family, because they know you're not going to ask the questions. And, that's the harsh reality of it. Money and stress or whatever makes people behave in strange ways sometimes, and it could be the least person, and you have to protect yourself.
And I think there's always been an emphasis, thinking back to my time in traditional practices, is, as I said earlier, the admin does it. And it is a tick box exercise. We all had it on our checklist when we start the accounts. We should go and check the AML. Oh, okay. Well, their ID's out of date or whatnot. Oh, we'll just get the admin to do it. But we've got to carry on with the year-end account. So we're just going to crack on and do it. And then you get to next year and it's the same sort of thing. But actually using this tool enables everyone to be involved. Everyone in the practice has got to do their training and keep up to date.
Mm.
But even, I don't know if James will back me up on this, even those training webinars and things, it's like, it feels a little bit like that. Oh. And I love compliance. So I'm like, I'm all for it.
I just need to go and watch Ozark.
Trying to get everyone else as enthusiastic as me. It's pretty hard. I'm trying. But actually showing that it can be easier, as well as this is what it all means, and this, you can do it quicker, but also they can see more. You can give it to more people than just the admin that don't actually necessarily understand where it's going or why they're doing it.
We had a relatively small practice that had an audit, not small practice, 6, 7 members of staff, a couple hundred clients, had their audit 4 weeks ago. And the guy came up to me at Accountex North, and I said, "Oh, hi Chris, how are you doing?" And he was just like, it was story of my life, this feedback, to be fair. He was just like, it's all just a bit of an anticlimax, really. And I think he was so like, he was like, for the first time in ages, I was not excited about an audit, but he wanted to show off. He was like, I've been using Firmcheck for 18 months and I've done this and everything's there. And he was just like, guy went away. Like, it was just like, it was all a bit of an anticlimax. And I was just like, well,
he wanted him to care more, didn't he, about how
he wanted to get a pat on the back and things like that. I was just like, that's great feedback. I don't know if I can social proof Firmcheck. Yeah. It's a bit of an anticlimax, but it's probably the best bit of feedback that you could get.
Yeah,
I do agree with the training videos. We provide the education material, and anyone that knows myself and Sophie, we've got a certain style of doing it. Again, it reminds me when we all used to work in corporate offices, and once a year you had to watch a video on how to lift a box and how to plug in your computer. But like you say, it's everyone's responsibility. And as much, I completely understand, by the way, I completely understand everyone's frustrations, but it's just not going away. So we may as well just accept that it's not going away and it's going to get harder. You said to your point, so you're not even meeting your clients anymore. They might be the other side of the world, and that's a fantastic opportunity for everyone. That's great. So just protect yourself. It's what.
Nice. I think that leans quite nicely into, well, how can people get in touch with you, Kev? How can people start using Firmcheck or look at starting to improve their AML process?
So you can go to our website. You can start Firmcheck in the next couple of minutes and run a couple of ID checks on yourself for no cost at all. You can sign up. Like you say, there's no minimum cost, so just however many clients that you want to do. But definitely get in touch with me either on LinkedIn, or my email is kevin.lord@firmcheck.com. We're well aware that you've got historic clients and historic documents, so we've got brilliant AI and OCR tools that will help with the migration of that historic data and the historic documentation onto the software. So all that work that you've put in the last 3 or 4 years isn't useless, especially with the new Companies House changes. I think that's important. It doesn't mean you need new ID for everyone. We do have new cryptographic functionality that will go and verify those documents so that you don't need to go and get new ID from all those clients. I think that's a big one. My diary is full of people just wanting help with Companies House, and it's like AML's another task in the next 6 months. They'll do the risk assessments later. They've now realised that, hey, that passport that I thought I had, I don't have. And I think they're also thinking, I could charge every director a couple of £100 here, and believe me, I would say the average fee that they are charging is about £250 per director to re-ID them.
What?
So
I'm charging 25.
Congratulations, you are by far the cheapest that I've spoken to in the last 4 months.
I mean,
Genuinely.
that shouldn't be the reason people come to me, but
Everyone's going to come to Amy now.
Genuinely, you are. That's the cheapest by. £70 is the cheapest I've heard. £400 is the most expensive I've heard. I reckon most firms are about £200 per director.
for doing the company's house.
Yes.
James, talk to me.
What
What
do
are
you
you
want to know?
charging?
What am I charging? More than you.
Well,
No, we haven't actually come up with a price plan yet, but we're not going that
Don't
way.
put a sad
you're
face,
doing
Andy.
it
That's
for
massive.
free, James.
No, I'm not doing it
That's
for free.
weird.
No, we obviously, part of our prices, obviously, when we take on new, as part of our onboarding, there's always a £10 yearly AML fee anyway, which we do. That's just built into our process. It's £10, but obviously with this company's house thing, I'm not going to lie, we're at the moment, we're not sure where we're going to pitch the price, because we're working it out. Obviously, we use Firmcheck inside, and we love it, but we're just at the moment trying to find that, I say, sweet spot that we're not going too high, but we're not going too low. So I don't know at the moment the answer, but we're not. It's going to probably be more than probably about £80-90.
Better get on it, James. Just thinking. 18th of November, isn't it, Kev?
Yes. 18th of November.
No. I've got Zara all over it. I'm not going to do it. I've delegated it.
And we like to end these guest episodes with a bit of this or that quick fire round, Kev. I try and relate it to the person, so I might throw a couple of grumpy Scotsman questions in there for you. Cool. So it's just this or that examples like coffee or tea, etc. And we'll get going. Yeah. Beach holiday or city break?
City break.
Pizza or burgers?
Pizza.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Remote work or office work?
Remote work.
Email or Slack?
Neither.
Oh.
Irn-Bru or whisky?
Irn-Bru.
Golf or football? I knew that one would throw you off.
Golf.
Nice. Tartan or tweed?
I would, any excuse to wear a kilt. I would wear a kilt every day of my life if I could. It's attractive as hell.
Tablet or shortbread?
Shortbread tablets, so sweet.
Oh yeah, good shout.
It is disgusting, isn't it? And then mountains or ocean?
I would say mountains. The Scottish Highlands are just magical.
Nice.
There's an energy up there when you go up. It's hard to explain.
It is cool. Yeah, it's very cool. It's a magical place. I like it. I like it up in your neck of the woods, mate. Thanks very much for coming on. We're obviously not sponsored by Firmcheck, but we'll link Firmcheck below. And Firmcheck, if you want to get in touch with Kev, then please do. Really appreciate you coming on, mate. Thanks for your time.
Anytime. Thank you.
Thank
catch up soon.
you.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks so much for listening to the Bean Counter to Boss podcast. I hope you enjoyed that episode. If you could leave us a review, subscribe, that would be incredible, as it really does help to get the word out there for our little podcast. Hopefully see you again in a couple of weeks' time for the next episode.